What up, everybody? It's Aaron with Robert, and this is Get Your Geek On. And today we are talking our review, our discussion of Hawkeye episode 4, 5?
Episode 4. This
4.
one's 4. I think it's called Partners. Am I right? I believe is the episode title.
The one actually, no.
Yeah. No, but I think the full title is Partners. Am I right? Like, I think it's a play on the.
I was wording a joke, but
well, it was very funny. I'm laughing. Jokes are always funnier when you explain them.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's what I was told.
So spoilers for Hawkeye, as well as for potential speculation, because we always get into a little bit of that. So if you don't want to deal with speculation or don't want spoilers, come back and watch this after the series is over. But if you are excited about what we might speculate about, stick with us. Again, we're going to be talking spoilers as we discuss the episode. So I don't know, what do you want to talk about? This is just like last week. These two episodes have been a little bit on the shorter side than the first two. But I guess overall thoughts on this episode. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about it?
It was a nice setup episode for everything, I feel like. And this, you have to get those episodes, I think, in any series. You have to have that maybe a little slow point, but we got to set up what's about to happen, especially when we only have 2 more episodes left and we're done. So we got to get everybody where they need to be. We have to let people know what's going on. I think overall, it was a good story. I don't think I got really invested until the last 5 to 10 minutes, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would agree that there was, as you said, kind of moving some pieces around. And I think the focus in this episode was really about kind of establishing where these relationships are at. Really establishing where, Clint and Kate have kind of grown to and what they're like. Establishing again, kind of Kate and her mom, having, seeing a little bit more of, her mom and Jack, seeing some of that. Yes. We get a little bit more with Clint and his wife. Yes. And so I think this was an episode, while light on, action until kind of the end. This was moving some of those relationships together and as you said, kind of getting people in the place of where they need to be. And then kind of it was an episode about relationships. And I think I like all of the relationships. I like all the dynamics. So I enjoyed the episode. But I think I'm with you. Of the 4, this is probably my least favorite episode, but I think that just suffers from where it's at. We're at the point now where we've had our first act. We've had our kind of, we've set up some of these conflicts and things like that. And now we're kind of taking a step back to, again, just kind of fully establish all of the characters and where they're at in relation to other characters. And now these last 2 episodes are really going to be that kind of third act as we kind of resolve a lot of these things. So I still enjoyed the episode. Oh yeah. But I will say that, it definitely is not as exciting as some of the previous episodes.
And exactly. And again, it comes down to the fact that we have to set up everybody. Like you said, we got to get all our pieces where they need to be. And I don't mind that. But kind of start with the beginning of the episode. We pick up where the last episode left off. The sword straight to his throat by swordsman, by Jack. And then it's like, okay, so we move on. And the wife recognizes it's Clint Barton. Is like, oh, Avenger. I want to know. I mean, Jack has to know who he is too. But does he know he's Ronin? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, I think this story is certainly leading us to believe that nobody knew that Clint was Ronin. I think even by the time we get to the end of the episode, I think that there's something else going on, which has led to this research of who he is and his family. I don't think anyone has connected, Ronin with Hawkeye, and probably, you have to assume that, that Clint, kept a very low profile during the blip years, and didn't really show back up in the public eye until, they were fighting Thanos, whatever. So, do people think that he was blipped too? I think that there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of people that don't know that he was Ronin that I think we'll find out. So I don't think Jack knows at this point that he's Ronin, but he might have a suspicion.
No,
because I think that, especially as the episode has gone on, I mean, we know, of course, that he was Ronin, but if you just look at the context of the events of this series, he shows up immediately after this Ronin character does. He's trying to get the suit back. He's trying, like all that stuff. Like, if I'm Maya or I'm, like Jack, who is clearly involved with them and everything, like, I'm going to start having that question. And I'm going to start going, hey, this is kind of unusual that he's so passionate about, getting the suit back or whatever. And now that he swiped the sword on his way out, Jack is obviously going to notice that sword was swiped. And he's going to have some more questions about that too. So
exactly. Now that's where we sit with swordsman. The other thing is, and the big thing we got in this is the watch. And I was double checking something while you were talking too, because I wanted to make sure on this. He says the watch belongs to somebody that kind of wants to remain anonymous,
has been out of the game for a long time, but their identity is tied to that watch. And if their identity becomes known, bye friend. Like, that's his. So he's basically saying, like, that watch is obviously tied to someone and some things that have some enemies that if people were able to find the location of that person, they presumably would try to eliminate them.
Exactly. Now, I was double checking because his wife's name in this is Laura in the show.
I know where you're going.
I'm going to go with it because I was like, what's her name? That's what I was looking up. I was like, what's her name again?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it could be who I'm thinking, which is somehow related to Mockingbird, which is an ex-wife of Clint Barton? Right.
In the comics, of course, yes, Hawkeye and Mockingbird have a relationship. They were married at one point. So, yeah, I mean, I think, again, when we look at, the watch, because the watch predates anything with Ronin in this series. Remember, they showed up to get the watch. They didn't care about the Ronin suit. The fact that Kate put the Ronin suit on and like kind of battled them sidetracked what that story was. Like, if she hadn't been there to put on the suit and they just come in and stolen the watch, where would that story be leading? Right. Yeah. And so the watch, I think we have to separate from Ronin. It's a different thing. And so, yeah, I think based on this episode, based on the clues that they're giving us, I do think, I mean, clearly Laura knows about that watch, is concerned about that watch. So, and if it was like Natasha, well, she's already gone. Yeah. So who else is somebody that the two of them would really care about? So it does seem to be possibly that, Laura was maybe an agent at some time. Maybe that's how her and Clint met. We see her like speak German. She clearly knows how to assist him because, like, he says, hey, can you run this company? Like, so she's got some of that knowledge and things like that. So I would not be at all surprised if she does have a past that is somehow tied to that watch. Now, whether she's Bobby Morse Mockingbird and then has changed her identity,
which would make sense.
I think that's, it's certainly a possibility. I don't know how likely it is.
Now, you watched. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. And I was just about to get into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Did have the character of Mockingbird in it, played by Adrienne Palicki. And, I mean, she was on for a couple seasons, very popular character within the show. Very, I thought the actress did a really good job. So I don't know if they'll ever bring any of that stuff from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. over. They certainly could. I mean, there's definitely characters in there that and actors and actresses that people would like. We've seen them now reach into the Netflix shows. So clearly this is something they are willing to do under the right circumstances.
Right.
And I think Adrian Palicki is, talented enough. Like, she could continue playing Mockingbird if they wanted to do that. We know the MCU is not tied to the comics. They don't have to, develop a Hawkeye and Mockingbird relationship.
No.
So I would say I think it's more likely that she was just an agent that, whether it was Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or it was somebody that, again, similar to like Natasha, was working for another country or something.
Right.
Maybe she's German, and was working for German secret intelligence or something. And, Clinton, her hooked up on a mission, sparks flew, whatever, who knows?
Yeah.
So I think I would be surprised if she isn't tied to the person who is the owner of that watch, whether it's her specifically or it's someone that's very close to her. That's my expectation.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I would expect her to be Mockingbird. I would say it's a toss-up. It certainly could happen, but I'm not going to like pin my hopes on it.
That's who I think it was at first. And the only other one I could think of, and it's a long shot, but it would explain. I mean, again, we saw the end of Black Widow. We saw the credit scene where we show the sister, a picture of Hawkeye. Oh, this is who killed Black Widow. But we, people know that's not true. But depending who you talk to, I guess who know how much is public, how much is not. But anyway, I'm wondering, because maybe this could tie into it, because a spoiler, of course, she does show up to fight Hawkeye.
Right.
She doesn't seem like she wants to kill him though, because I think she could have killed him a few different times.
Well, so let's just talk about Yelena real quick.
Okay.
Because I have speculation. I think that the opening scene where Hawkeye and Kate are in the penthouse, and then the mom is like, the mom kind of has like the leave my daughter out of this conversation with Hawkeye, and even like to the point where she says, so you're going to drop this case, right? And he's like, I can't do that, but I'll make sure she stays safe, right? And immediately after that, she gets on the phone. She makes a phone call. We don't know who's on the other end of the line. It's just a voicemail. I don't think so. I think it's the Contessa, because I think it's not a coincidence that Yelena shows up right after the Hawkeye's presence becomes known to Kate's mom. I think Jack is tied to Kingpin. I don't think the mom is tied in with that same organization. I do think she has ties, but I think her ties are with, maybe the Contessa and some areas over there. So that's kind of my feeling, is that she made that phone call to her that, kind of then brought the pieces together with Yelena now going after Hawkeye. And I agree with you. I don't think Yelena at this point, I think she wants closure. So she wants to be able to confront Clint and maybe get him to admit, again, get a confession out of him, because she, obviously she's been told that he's the one that killed her. So I don't think she wants to kill him until and unless she can confirm that that's what happened.
Right.
She did feel like she was pulling her punches.
Yeah. Especially when we saw her fight Kate, it was never really to hurt Kate, especially when she threw her over the edge. Hawkeye thought she was like, oh crap, she's going to get killed. Yeah. And she saved her because she put the little thing down.
Right. Which again ties into my theory that I think the mom said, and if my daughter's there, leave her out of it. Make sure she stays, so that's why I'm kind of, that's why I'm tying those things together. I'm tying Yelena and the mom together through someone like the Contessa, because I do think that, there was a clear, kind of, I'm going to try and get her out of the fight, but certainly not kill her or hurt her.
Exactly. And now I want to I'm going to stretch a little bit because I like to. That's me. You got to stretch and see where it could go. I'm wondering if, I agree with you 100% on the phone call and all that. I want to say that first. Yep. This is just my conspiracy theory.
Okay.
She's also there because I think she knows about the watch. I'm wondering if the watch is related to the dad of her and Black Widow, because he was a spy at one point. He was undercover. It looked to me to be more of a man's kind of watch than a woman's. It didn't look very feminine. And that would tie to Widow. It would show that he was in the game and left, came back to the whole Widow stuff. That's when he really came back, because he was sitting in jail. And maybe he helped out for a little while because we don't know how long that time. I mean, does he blipped? Was he not blipped during that whole time frame from after Black Widow?
Yeah,
So
I
maybe
would
he's
say
helping.
I just wonder, why would the tracksuit mafia be involved with him? Because again, you have to remember that they're the ones that were after this watch to begin. Like, so
You know why?
why? No, I don't.
He taught them how to say bro.
Okay.
The Russians.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
they're Russian though.
Well, but I think they're tasked. It was their job to get the watch. So it's Wilson Fisk, or maybe it's Maya that wants the watch. So, again, I don't know where it's leading exactly, but I do think, again, I think it's related to. I think it's related to Laura. That's my feeling. I feel pretty strongly, just because she was the one to kind of bring it up when they didn't even know the watch was missing.
Right.
Like, because she just kind of randomly was like,
where's
hey,
the watch? Yeah.
Like, what about this watch? And it did feel a little jarring, because it's like they don't know that that's what the tracksuit mafia was after. Because I don't think, unless Kate told Clint off screen,
right?
But then if she did, why did it take 3 episodes for that to finally come up? So it's like, it just feels weird.
It does. I mean, it could be one of those ones that's like she didn't think about it really until like later. It's like, but you told me, because she makes the offhand comment, you told me the Ronin suit was destroyed or gone. So maybe it was one of those ones like, well, if that still exists, why can't the watch still exist?
Right.
So I mean, I agree with you though.
I think she just, the fact that she brought it up without having any sort of, it wasn't like, again, at least we haven't been shown Hawkeye be made aware of the existence, and even the way he responds to her, he's like, I thought it was destroyed, so I just, I have a feeling that, that she tied into it.
I agree 100%, and I know we talk about like all the stuff we like in this, and there's something I do want to say that I didn't like in this episode, and it's something I wish they would stop doing, and I know why they do it though. I don't need the comedy in this. And by that, I mean, I don't need the LARPing people. I don't need that at all. I thought that part, for me personally, yes, it's funny, it's cute, but it's a waste for someone like me, because again, he talks about, oh, we can't make more trick arrows. Why can't you make more trick arrows? Like, is there no other tech? We've already seen so many different tech type people out there. You're telling me there's not someone who can make more trick arrows? Are they dead? What's going on? Yeah. But you can have the arrow heads still, which makes no sense to me. And it became this whole thing. We need to go get those arrows back. Why can't we just, like, you've already shown that you have someone who knows mechanics with the earpiece, and she seemed to know stuff, how to fix it. So we don't know if she's someone else. I mean, it could have been just like, oh yeah, she knows stuff. But you're telling me S.H.I.E.L.D. is still out there. We know S.H.I.E.L.D.'s around still, thanks to Spider-Man and everything else. You're telling me you don't have any connection in S.H.I.E.L.D. that you'd be like, hey, I just need some of these arrows made again. It bothered me because it was one of those like, oh, we need to have that break in all of this seriousness and all this. We need the comedy again. And here's these LARPing people. Oh my God. And then it's like, okay, also you broke into NYPD and stole these. Yes, you're a cop, but you literally still have to take evidence out. Like, that's no.
Yeah, I think that I liked the scene of Kate meeting them in the park.
That was okay, yeah.
Where she kind of, now she's getting a chance to interact with them, and she's trying to make a deal to get the arrows and kind of thing. I didn't need them. I agree with you. I didn't need them back at the safe house, which number one, was like, Kate, why are you bringing them back to the safe house? It's no longer a safe house now.
It's compromised. You're gone.
On top of which again shows her inexperience, I guess.
Yeah.
But it did, like, there were just a few too many beats of like, we're gonna make we're gonna make the joke about the costumes. We're gonna make the joke about the
bag he missed.
The bag.
So
we're gonna it's just, and so it was just kind of, I kind of agree with you. Like, I like that they were brought back, because I think that I didn't expect to see them again, and so I liked Kate getting to interact with them. But then I didn't necessarily care for the scene where they were back at the safe house. I think I agree with that. But I will say. No, I was just going to say, I really, I liked the interlude with Kate and Clint really bonding, having their like Christmas, montage where they're watching the movies where he's showing her the trick with the coin, where, they're just like, and when she asks him about, the best shot he ever fired, and he gets to talk about, the Black Widow, like when he, met Natasha and that kind of stuff. Like, I thought that was all done very well.
Right.
I liked the way it was light and it kind of a little bit comedic in tone, and then it kind of shifted to really again, okay, now we're talking really serious stuff, and we're talking about, loss and grief and, like those types of things. And so, I think that was a really important dynamic all the way up until what happened at the end of the episode, which, is very much a trope, which is I'm going to push you away to keep you safe, which he's, Clint is now attempting to do at the end, where he's just saying, like, stay out of this, leave me alone. I'm not going to be involved with you anymore, because he doesn't want her to get hurt. And so, I mean, like, it was very effectively done, I thought.
Exactly. And I agree with you. I think that whole scene, that was a good scene for me. Again, I just didn't need that breakup of comedy. It felt almost like some of the Punisher movie with Thomas Jane, where it's like, oh, we have these guys in there to break up the murderer that he is, just throw some laughs in. And that always felt a little short for me. And that's why I felt like on this one. Again, the LARPers, I feel like that could have been a Punisher scene maybe, where he's just like, because he has to deal with NYPD. He deals with the street stuff. Hawkeye still feels, again, I got my connections. I can't just call someone at S.H.I.E.L.D. I can't call someone else to help make these trick arrows. I have to go get these ones specifically. But I get it, because we've seen scenes in, I think in some trailers or pictures or stills, that he's in a new suit, I think, like a purplish one. So I get it. We have to connect who's going to make the suit. Oh, well, these LARPers are going to make the suit for us. And it's like, really? Like, can we? I don't know. I get it. But again, I also want to kind of go, because again, we got 2 episodes left. I want to know what you think on this one. Do you think Hawkeye's going to live, or do you think he's going to die? Do you think they're going to get rid of Jeremy Renner, or do you think he's going to come back on again?
No, at the end of this series, he's reunited with his family. He's back on the farm. He makes it home for Christmas. He's definitely not dying.
Okay. You don't think they're going to go dark? Well, I mean, I know it's dark to do that too.
No. There's no way he's going to die at the end of this.
This is why I cannot direct Disney.
This whole series has been about whether or not he's going to get home to his family for Christmas. If they kill him at the end of it, no, not happening.
This is why Disney will never call me to direct their show. I'm like, nah, you're going to kill him, right? No, I can't do this. We got to kill him.
Yeah.
No. Do you think we're going to see? We both think we're going to hopefully see some Kingpin, right? I think we can agree to that.
I think we had another scene setting up Kingpin in this episode when Hawkeye confronts Kazi, and once again he talks about, like, your boss wouldn't want all this attention, kind of stuff. And it's like, oh my God, could they just put a neon flashing sign that says Wilson Fisk, Kingpin? Like, because that is seriously, that is so much. That is so who Kingpin is. Like, he lives in the shadows.
He does.
I mean, I think we're getting him. Honestly, I think we're getting him.
Which episode? Which episode are you thinking?
Man, this is tough, because I've heard that episode 5 is going to break the internet. Right? That's what people have said.
Okay.
But I also, like, originally I was like, well, he's not going to show up till after the Spider-Man movie comes out, which would be episode 6. So I don't know. I think we might get a tease at the end of episode 5. Like, I think maybe a stinger, a post-credit scene of episode 5. I don't think we're going to get him right off the bat. And I don't think he's going to be a prominent role in episode 5 if we get him. I think it's going to be just one quick scene if he's in episode 5.
Like, you hear his voice, or you just see him walking in, kind of thing.
Yeah. I feel like, if I was putting percentages on it, I would say like 75% episode 6, 25% episode 5. Like, there's a chance, a 1 out of 4. Like, there's a pretty decent chance that they'll show up in episode 5. But I think my money would still be on episode 6.
See, and I agree, because now Clint kind of tipped his hand that he knows Echo is not the highest ranking person, that there is somebody, a boss. So he tipped his hand. So now, like you said, the other guy's going to be like, I need to kind of talk to Kingpin about this. And I think there would be a conversation with them too. If we see him in 5, it's going to be him telling Kingpin, like, hey, Hawkeye knows there's somebody above her. Hawkeye knows that he doesn't know it's you yet, but we do need to move all this off. Like, you need to help me remove Echo.
I think he absolutely would say he knows it's you, because again, the way he speaks about him says like, your boss wouldn't want all this attention. Like, I I think if I'm Kazi, I go, he knows exactly who my boss is.
Yeah. So something.
But yeah, I think
okay.
I think episode 5 is mostly going to deal, like, I think we're going to get more Yelena. I think we're going to get, like,
yes.
I think that her and Hawkeye will resolve their stuff in episode 5.
I agree with that 100%.
I think she won't be in episode 6 at all. I think she's going to be in episode 5. And so I think we're going to be dealing with that storyline. We're going to be dealing a little bit more with, Jack and the mom and those types of things, the watch a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to, unless it's at the very end, kind of leading into that final episode.
Yeah.
That's where I think we could see Kingpin show up.
And see, here's what I'm thinking. And I know you say 5 is what people are saying are going to break the internet. I think 6 is going to have a big thing, I think. What I'm thinking, because we already have an idea that I don't remember the actress's name that plays Contessa, the girl that played Elaine in
Seinfeld. Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, I think we're going to see her, and we're going to see Vincent D'Onofrio almost at the same table, like eating together, kind of thing, like they're talking. Because I think she's putting together the Dark Avengers, and she needs some funding. She doesn't care where she gets the funding from. Who has a crap ton of money? Wilson Fisk. Who kind of wants his own little hit squad? Wilson Fisk. So now that means I would get, I would have a Black Widow. I would have my own Captain America. I would have whoever else. I don't know who else she's recruited. I can't remember right now. But
at this point, we've only seen those two. We haven't seen anyone else.
So, I mean, think about it. We bring in Bullseye. Say he still has. Let's say we bring in. We bring the actor. We bring the character over.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to have a hit squad that he paid for. Yeah, they're doing Avenger things. They're helping people. But can you just go, this guy's kind of evil. Could you go take him out? And they're going to do it because, well, if you don't do it, I might lose my money all of a sudden and not fund the Dark Avengers. I'm thinking that's going to be the big thing, is that they're going to be sitting at a table eating dinner and talking. It's going to do like that pan shot, and you're going to see her. She's going to be doing her whole thing. And it's going to pan back. You're just going to see Fisk just kind of like, okay, let's see what we can do together. I think that's what we're going to get. If you don't get that in 5, we're going to get it in 6. But I think we're getting it in 6.
That's certainly an interesting theory to tie the two of them together. I think that could work.
Because we don't know who's funding her.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen enough to know. The other person I forgot that we do know. Well, we don't know for sure, but I think we're pretty sure that Sharon was connected to her as well, based on the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like
Sharon could be connected to Kingpin so easily.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it certainly could be a possibility. I don't know that I'm there yet, that I'm ready to tie those two together, but could happen.
I'm always in the conspiracy realm, but we've been talking about it for a little while. So again, guys, I hope you enjoy these discussions. Let us know what you think down below, where you think the show's going to go. If you're still, if you're watching this with, the order of this episodes, because I'm curious.
I just have to say, we talked a little bit about that moment, where Clint is talking about Natasha and how effective that was. I will say they brought back the music cue of Natasha and Clint, like on Vormir when Kate is hanging from the building.
Dude,
they kind of brought that up, and it really it hit me again. It was like, oh man, like there's so much PTSD going on for Clint right now.
I will say that was a good scene too, where he's leaning back in the chair and we see the PTSD. Essentially, we see everything he's gone through. That scene, I like that scene. Again, that fight scene was the best in the whole show to me. That whole episode, I'm sorry.
It was cool to see like the four of them. Kind of Maya was there too as well. Like so that the different fights. I did. We talked about the comedy. The Kate getting stuck on the zip line. I thought that was funny. I was like, that is totally something that would happen to Kate. Like she doesn't really know what she's doing yet. She doesn't, like, her bow is not necessarily designed, to work that way and stuff. Like she didn't have a ton of momentum when she was doing it. Yep. And so like just have her just be hanging in the middle of the, I was like, I like that. That works.
See, and I did like I just want to comment too on that. I did like, that's where I was like, I started realizing that girl was trying to help her. Cause I don't think she pulled on that line just to like get like leverage. I think she pulled on the line because it was Yolanda that pulled it. She pulled it to help get her across. I feel like
could be.
That's what I felt like. Why you don't need to grab that. You could move out of the way. But it helped her, but it also, like you said, if her job is to also keep her safe, having her dangle across the street, 100 feet in the air,
right?
Not very safe.
When Maya could just cut the line from the other end.
Exactly. Exactly. So I feel like she did that on purpose to get her across, to be like, okay, she's safe here. Oh, you're going to fight me? well, you're no threat because I'm a Black Widow too. Like I can kick your butt.
Well,
So
Kate, wait. We skipped right over the fact that Kate literally shot an arrow into Echo, and she just like ripped it out. She was like, "Whatever, I'm out of here."
You guys play too rough. They just like walked off.
I was like, "Okay, Kate." Like you're literally now just shooting people with arrows, literally. Okay.
She didn't kill her though, so she's not an anti-hero yet. She just hurt her. So
I mean,
I don't know.
Not that bad because Maya just was like, fine. Like you're gonna shoot arrows at me. I thought we were just punching and kicking, but all right.
I thought we were just playing, guys. Yeah, and she did kind of like storm off bad though.
Yeah, I did. I liked the one move that I think it was Kate that like kicked the gun like down into that. That was cool. I was like, you know what? She is pretty BA. Like she's inexperienced and she, like makes a lot of dumb mistakes, but she also is pretty BA.
Yeah, she really is. I think so. I mean, again, she also was trained in martial arts. We got to see that in her little montage. So she's a fighter. And again, no matter what, yes, she didn't do well in the fight, but she still held her own against a Widow a little bit. Even if you could just land 1 or 2 punches. And then Echo is no one to mess with either.
Yep. So
yeah. On that note, go watch it, guys. Right, again, it's still a good fun episode. Like I said, still one of my slower ones, but I'm curious where everyone thinks it's gonna go. I've kind of set my conspiracy theories. I don't know if they're gonna make it, but I would love to see it. I would love to see the dinner. I would love to see what's gonna happen. So next week we'll see episode 5, and then the week of then Spider-Man. And then the last episode, right? Is how it would play out.
Yeah, so we've got next Wednesday is Hawkeye, then the weekend we're going on Thursday night to see Spider-Man, so we'll see those, right away, and then the final Hawkeye episode comes out on let's see, the 22nd.
Yeah.
Like because the 15th is next week, and then the 22nd. So right before Christmas is the final episode, where if Aaron was writing the series, Clint would die. And then probably an assassin would blow up his farm and kill his whole family. But not until they see that he's already dead. Like they have to deal with that first, and then they explode.
No, we wouldn't do that. What would happen is then the daughter becomes Hawkeye to avenge her dad, but then she's gonna team up with the Punisher, so she doesn't mind killing. And then you have a Hawkeye who doesn't mind killing people left and right.
I mean, well, this Hawkeye talks about his history as a weapon. Like he's really trying to hammer home. He's not a hero. I'm a weapon. My job was to hurt people. Because Kate's like, your job was to protect people. No, my job was to hurt people.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean that's. But I think Hawkeye is maybe reckoning with the fact that he's killed a lot of people, both as Hawkeye and Ronin.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Again, he's trying to move past that.
Yeah. I mean, my thing, of course, would have the dinner. That's what my directing style would have. Be like, yeah, I'm the kingpin as he eats his like $100 steak.
Oh my God.
So guys, definitely go check all that out. Official GYGO, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Go check out all of our theories. We'll probably post some pictures and videos when we go see Spider-Man, as well as more theories on Hawkeye and more news, more everything. So go check all of this out, guys. On that note, I'm Aaron. That's Robert. Get your geek on and stay geeky, guys.